So I cancelled my trip back to SA, back home for winter.
Right, which is crazy.
Because the way I thought about it, right? It's like I've had the holiday to go back home and spend the time with my family. I've had the holiday to stay in Amsterdam and experience it in, my new favorite place in the world. And I've had the one where I've gone around Europe and seen Christmas markets and all of that. What I haven't done is stayed and worked for the first time ever in my first part-time job at a restaurant, and make, a little bit of extra money on peak days and things like that. So I asked my manager how many shifts would he be able to give me if I stayed for him, and he offered me 3 to 4 a week. And basically we're doing that. So, Happy New Year. It's January 1st at 1 a.m. for me.
What?
It's Happy New Year.
Right, yeah, it is a Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026.
Wow, I work in 12 hours.
Oh, you're working on New Year's Day?
Double pay, or at least I think. I didn't confirm.
Okay.
I worked on the second Christmas Day as well. I mean, I wanted to work
The
on Christmas. I
second
don't know why
Christmas
he didn't
Day,
let
like
me.
Boxing Day?
Yeah, Boxing Day. I mean, in
I've never heard
Dutch,
anyone
it's,
call it the second.
in Dutch it's called the
I guess,
Tweede
yeah.
Kerstdag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I don't think I've spent Christmas in like with family since 2022. Like normally we just call. Oh, I guess I did spend Christmas with family this year, right? Like I was in London with my grandma and cousins and uncles and aunts and stuff. But that's interesting that that's the way you thought of it. Why did you get the ticket in the first place, or you just didn't know this until?
So I always felt a little more detached to going home, because like my whole life is now set up in Amsterdam, and that was my outlook on it. But then when I went back for summer, initially I wasn't going to go back, and I was like, going back once every, I don't know, a year and a half is good enough. And then a year hit. It was like June to June, and in July I really, really, really wanted to go home. I couldn't understand it. I guess it's I don't know, magnetism. Everyone maybe has. And after I came back, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then not long after, our friend was booking her tickets back, and I was like, wait, kind of a good idea. And then I spoke to my mom, and she was always on board. So I booked the tickets. But then when the time came around, it was sort of bad timing because I need to leave immediately after my exam, which was 3 days after like a big deadline. And I have a resit I need to take 2 days after I get back.
Okay.
And, it's a very, very exhausting flight for me. It's like really tolling.
Yeah. You take like the super long. I mean, South Africa is really far from. It's like Australia of Africa.
Yeah.
But it's like for you also, you take like the long way, right?
And exactly. And it's a different climate, and the altitude is different,
right,
and I always get
winter.
sick when I come back. And then on top of that, it's like seeing the whole family, having them miss me, and we're sort of out of sync for a little bit. And it's somehow very rushed, but also at the same time I do nothing. I just sit at home, and my parents go to work every day, through the holidays, and my brother's kind of also stressed and studying, and then I had some other like family issues that was going to be more of a burden that wouldn't let me like study. So factoring in all of this together, it was like, logically it would make more sense to stay here. And the moment I told my mom, just like, I'm considering staying here, she's like, do it. It makes sense. I trust you. Like, the point is that you put yourself first. And I was like, wow.
Does that happen like often, or is this like the first time that, like with your mom being so fully on board with an idea that you had?
She genuinely is, but the thing is, I expected a little bit of like disappointment, a little bit of like, I've also been slacking in like calling them regularly, also just because things have been busy, and haven't been like taking that great care of myself, and blah 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 blah. But it was the sweetest response. I mean, I know she's supportive of all of that, but no, it took me aback. My dad, on the other hand, he had the whole disappointed thing, but not like letting it on, and me just feeling like absolute garbage, and knowing that I called my mom first, and my mom warning me even herself, like, don't take what your dad says seriously. He sometimes like doesn't know how to speak. He uses his words wrong at the wrong time, etc., and like, And it was a whole thing, and then I told my friends, and they were like, "Oh, I think it's a bad idea. You know, you've been burning out, or at least they think I have been, or all these things." I was like, "No, you gotta like rest. What do you mean you're gonna keep working?" And I was like, it was one of those things that just felt intuitively right, you know. So I was like, yeah. I don't really. This is not one of the things where I care about what other people think. So I just went with it. But I know it sounds like. And then obviously it's fun to play in on the drama and just text all my friends like one liner like, "I cancelled my trip." I rescheduled it to spring break, which for the same reasons, I'm going back home essentially. Like, I've done all the things
during the spring break. So in May.
In April, May, and plus I could probably take off a few days
like
of school.
The King's Day week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it was interesting that you characterized Amsterdam as like your new favorite place or like home now, because like when I was listening to our 2024 was podcast episode, if you haven't, you should listen. I didn't like explicitly say it, but the way I sounded, like it felt like I could remember my thoughts about being just so certain about like there, right? Like at that point we'd been there since 2022, right? So there was that sense of familiarity that I like only in listening to that and reflecting felt like I've completely lost that. Like when I was in London and I came back, like I felt a little bit of like, oh, like I'm back home. But like on that trip back was when I was listening to the episode, and I was like thinking like if this was back to Amsterdam at the time of that, like the feeling would have been completely different. Like I feel like I was a lot more certain about things that like just geography ties you to that you take for granted until you move. But that's just like a side little thing. Like more generally, how was 2025?
I know everyone always says this, and everyone probably will keep saying it, but it genuinely felt like it went by so quickly. So quickly. I didn't feel at any point in the year that it was stalling a little bit, as I usually feel with many things, such as a year going by, months going by, and TV shows progressing, or a movie playing. It's not like Christopher Nolan who gets the timing right. Every other movie that's not Christopher Nolan, at some point it's like, okay, I'm aware that I'm watching a movie in the same way that I'm aware that March is passing right now, which I'm just kind of, it kind of feels surreal. I don't know why. I don't think I necessarily feel this every New Year's Day, but it certainly does this time around. It was because to me, honestly, it was yesterday, and then it was like, okay, tomorrow I need to find a way to get from Eindhoven back to Amsterdam. It missed the holiday schedule before 2 p.m. when my shift starts. And then my roommate had texted me, and she told me like, oh, how she's been buying gifts for everyone and how she should stop. Just your typical, I've been shopping too much thing. And then it was like, oh, I need to buy a dress for tonight. And if I find a nice one, like, I'll buy it. And I was like, oh, what's happening tonight? And she was like, New Year's Eve. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's right. It's the last day of the year. Holy crap. I completely forgot. Like, it I don't know. And I don't mean this in a bad way at all. It's just something I haven't experienced in a good way. It's been fun having gone through this. And I'll probably look back one day and think that was so stupid, because maybe all my New Year's will be like this when I think about work next, or my next stressful thing, or my next responsibility. But I don't know, the like, how do you say, it's so shiny, this new thing, and it's exciting right now.
Yeah.
And you?
I feel like it's always nice to like feel like do that human thing of like feeling so small, or like feeling like part of something larger whenever a new year rolls around, right? It's like such a thing that we have just socially constructed this thing and now just put so much value in it. Like, obviously, if you think there's a certain way you can think of it that makes it sound stupid, but I think it's nice that everyone just like gets together. Like my sister, who's tall by the way, she was like talking the entire time about how she's excited about how like this year's just gonna be it, like she can feel it, and like it's always the even numbered years, because like 2022 was great, 2024 was great, and it's just like
2020
certain like things are just ascribing to like whatever the new year is. And I'm sure like if you had gone back in time and asked her about 2025, she would have said the same thing, right? And just use different like arguments for why 2025 would be a good year. I just think it's always nice how people like look at the new year with such optimism.
It is. I think it's one of the more harmless things like people have valorized arbitrarily,
Yeah.
And so many people are gonna see it as an opportunity to have a new start and all these things, and they're celebrating together. It's bringing people together, and there are things like your sister saying these. It's just so sweet.
Okay. How do you want to do this? You want to do major events compared to 2024, or compared to resolutions?
Yeah, whatever's standing out to you.
I think we can do like major events first, like highlights and lowlights. It's so funny because I literally had this talk with both my sisters like an hour ago. So I had some prep.
Okay.
But
I
yeah,
had
you
a
go
pretty,
ahead.
I want to say like cookie cutter year, but in a way that I've never had a cookie cutter year, and every year has gone haywire to some extent, because especially towards the latter half of this year, I I I optimized things as if it were on a blank sheet of paper. Also because I just started the masters, right? I controlled like how much I was seeing my friends, how much I was spending on my own, and how much I was investing into like studying and working and all of that thing. So it's very easy to reflect on it. I don't think I usually would be able to, but immediately like a big standout is that I got recommended for that research assistant job, and it was one of the greatest things that have ever
That's
happened.
the big
And
standout, not graduating
no,
with a
no.
bachelor.
After that thesis, it was just kind of like, yeah, I mean.
Okay.
And then the graduation ceremony, no, I didn't even, Caleb, I don't think it would have crossed the top 3 things I would have said to you right now.
Okay, that's because I also
didn't.
didn't. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I got the research assistant thing, and it still feels really surreal. It feels very imposter syndrome, which a whole new type of imposter syndrome. Just a lot of new things.
Okay.
And and my year has sort of been, it feels like my clock's been reset at the start of the year was the start of the masters, because that
I was
currently
gonna
to
ask that
me,
because the first thing you said was when I asked you about how like the year.
Yeah.
You immediately based it around from August, which is
Yeah.
interesting because the year started in January. I don't know if you know.
you mean
started
like
in
the schedule I grew up with my
January.
entire life? I don't know if you know.
Interesting. Do you think like how does it compare to like what you thought at the start of the year, if you can remember, like for what the year would be like?
Honestly, the past 2 years have sort of been such a mess because of getting over that like really big breakup. So every time you've actually asked me in the past as well, the thing I sort of haven't mentioned but I knew existed underlying everything I've been doing and have been working towards was the fact that like I was getting over this breakup, and that was a major thing, and like that still existed at the start of the year, but it didn't exist at the start of my new year, which is my master's, which I see is more of a blank slate than now. Also because we're in this awkward phase where like I'm a month before the end of my first semester, and it's not like I get a break after that. And anyways, yeah. You?
Do you think that you're over it now? Like you're like in.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Oh yeah.
I remember
That's
like
what I
we
mean,
had
like,
that one
such a
like.
blank slate. Like it just everything that's happened has been entirely just internal and about myself, in terms of the things I felt, the things that have happened to me, like since the master started, and I've had this blank piece of paper in front of me, and it's like, oh, this happened because of this. Oh, this was when I said that I would prioritize this, but I didn't. This was because, and it scratches this itch in my potentially like autistic brain that's like, wow, everything's so clear. Nothing has been more of a restart. This is the restart I always want. It's like resetting my laptop from scratch every time I run into a minor issue, because I don't know, it scratches an itch.
That is a good way to characterize. Like I remember over the summer, like you doing the whole thing, like to reset your body, like a couple of things like that are along that line that like I thought was interesting and impressive in many ways. Yeah, I don't think I consider that. Like for me, like it's weird because what I have in my goals, like my traditional now or my goals for the year, which are like process related stuff, and then looking back at what I said on that podcast, it's like really different because like the things that I talked about for the year on the podcast were so geographically tied to Amsterdam. I didn't think that they were, but it just ended up being. I'll give an example. Like, so I talked about how 2024 is like reaping the benefits of the past year, and then like 2025 is going to be like intentionality. That was like the main thing. I don't know if you remember. We were talking about how 2025 we're going to be more intentional. And in many ways, I feel like I did that, but like, like big events wise, like just getting into Oxford was such a like a big curveball when looking from the perspective of like me forming my idea of the year. Like it just did not, like reading these things, it seemed like just did not cross my mind. So there have been things where like I feel like I have done an experience, and there are things that have just been completely like changed because of this like geographical move. Um but generally speaking, I feel like 2025 was a good year. Like we started the year intentional. Like remember how we talked about like me putting myself more out there.
Yeah.
And how like I feel like since starting university I had grown like a lot more in a lot of ways, and not as much or like completely neglected like other parts of my growth. Speak more like emotionally and like with friends and like partners. And I feel like I mean from January like I was pretty much like on trying to develop that, and I think I started with that. And then obviously when March came and then I found out I was moving, it kind of felt like, okay, this is like the example I'm giving. Like it kind of felt like from January, okay, intentional with this thing, and then March came, was like, holy, like shit, like I'm gonna have to move by the summer, which then like put a lot of things on pause, like in terms of like growing with friends and partners. Like I feel like for some people it would lead them to like hanging out more with friends and stuff, but for me like it was very much the opposite until like much later in the year.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, like if I'm leaving, like I need to like spend time with like the people that I like. But that was just like one side of things. Other things were great. I feel like I definitely like feel comfortable in who I know myself to be. But again, like I feel like I'm finding out new things, like just like this metaphorical glass ceiling that has been broken just from like the change of environment again. Like, I feel like a lot of the things I'm gonna say here are gonna be related to this change of environment. I feel like there has been a metaphorical glass ceiling that has been broken that I just did not factor into my thoughts about 2025. And it's just weird because it only happened in like the second half.
Right.
Or maybe even third of the year, where I'm like exposed to so many people doing like so many crazy things. I'm like, I would have never like considered to want to do something like this or in that realm, but I feel like I should because I've been given the opportunity to. If we take that out of the equation, I thought it was a great year and a very solid stepping stone for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's this year going to be about?
Oof.
What's the stepping stone leading you to?
I think it's expanding horizons. Like, I think it's also weird because like it feels so like just topical to what I'm thinking of around this time of the year. But I'm reading this book about like it's called The Field Guide to Getting Lost, and now I feel like I just want to get lost in 2026. Lost in like the sense of like I've developed a sense of comfortability. Like obviously like geographical wise, like yeah, things have changed, but like in terms of like more internal things that are like in many ways a lot more in my control than like changing my geography. I think I need to get lost to find some things out about myself. And I feel like I want to do that next year.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, logically and
Like you only
Totally.
find out new things when you get lost. I haven't like even like I think if I open my Kindle right now, I'm like 20 something% through with this book, and I'm already like letting it. I'm 22% through this book, and I'm already like letting it shape so much of what I'm thinking
But I think
for next year.
for you, that's very significant and like a hallmark of a very good book because I don't think you do that easily. You're
You know how
generally
I got the
extremely critical.
recommendation?
Who,
It was
how?
Hank Green.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
what a
was the
legend!
Vlog Brothers.
He's like my god now. So
Yeah, I know.
everything he says, I'm
I
just like,
know.
oh,
Yeah,
mind blown.
I
Wow,
can give you
he's
the
the
list.
epitome of like greatness for me right now.
No, he's. I think you put me on him, or like you put me on him, and then I heard him on a podcast with Alex O'Connor, who I
Yeah,
like regard very highly.
yeah.
I saw him at the Oxford Union actually at the start of the term, and that was like one of
Whoa,
my first like celebrity moments.
whoa,
Um,
whoa.
but that's besides the point. Yeah, I can give you like the list of books that I found like off of like their Reddit, but like that's why I just
Yeah.
picked that one because it sounded most interesting to me, and now it's like basing my entire next year. But
You,
yeah, I feel
you
like I'm
really don't
gonna.
do that easily. Like, I know you
No,
to be
no, no.
extremely critical of everything you
Yeah,
do, and
yeah.
so that's wow. That's really significant.
Mm-hmm. Um,
So, three. That's good luck.
yeah.
So, how are you gonna get lost, Caleb? You're quite
Oof.
set in your ways.
I think it requires me to take more walks, metaphorical, not like like actual walks. Also because like you can physically get lost.
Really,
You
the
can.
best thing you could come up with was take metaphorical walks. That's the
Yeah.
analogy. Okay.
I think it makes sense. Let me cook. Let me cook you. When you take a physical walk,
Right.
a lot of times you're like going around like the neighborhood and like you might see something in more detail that you haven't seen before, but you never like really get lost. Like you're not gonna try to get lost. And the only way you get lost when you're taking a walk is like when you're not paying attention. But you can intentionally get lost and then make your way back. Like if you know like okay, this is an area that you haven't explored yet, if you make signpost of a marker like hey this building and then you just go. You learn new things and you come back to that building and now you have expanded your view of the world. This is what I'm gonna try to do. I.e., like this already started with my thesis idea. Like the thesis that I submitted, thesis idea that I submitted when I applied is so different from what I ended up submitting at the end of Michaelmas term. Um, and I think that's a step in the right direction because now I'm gonna explore something that I haven't even like interacted with before. Um, and I'm just gonna try and apply that to a lot of other aspects of my being. Like this year I'm taking a break from like traditional bodybuilding gym stuff and doing a calisthenics based routine. So like by the end of the year I should be able to do a handstand push up and like a muscle up and all these other calisthenics things because I'm just gonna completely switch from regular gym to like calisthenics based workout. I think it's the best time for it because the gym that I'm going to right now is so small and the machines are so bad. I just rather do body weight stuff and it'll be more fun. Um, so that's like body. Mind wise, I think I'm gonna be a lot more open to like. I think it's gonna be easier just because like I'm meeting new people, being at a new place, and so I'm just gonna like do more stuff with people that I wouldn't have necessarily always been drawn to. Like if I were to like compare my life in Amsterdam to like my life here right now, I can already say like I can't make so close of a comparison of like archetypes of people there to archetypes of people here that I hang out with. And I think that will just naturally expand my thinking to other like ways or frameworks of looking at things. I think ultimately this will help me get a better model of the world and who I want to be in this world. One thing I do know for sure, and this was off of like a mini essay that I wrote to myself was like this idea of like just wanting to be among the best of like a certain thing. I think we talked about this, but this is where like it comes into the thing of like wanting to live a boring life and not wanting to live a boring life. I thought that I wanted to live a boring life, but this glass ceiling being broken, I feel like I cannot allow myself to live a boring life. Maybe it'll change again by the time I'm 25, but I feel like, okay, 21 is like 18 in the sense that it's one of the socially significant years, depending on which part of the world that you're from. And when I turned 18, it was like an epiphany for me. I went bald. I started I went bald. Like I sacrificed my hair for discipline and like a whole lot of other stuff that I thought really set me up for where I am now. And I feel like 21 has that same sort of like vibe. So guys, I'm gonna
You know how
go bald
dark you
again.
sound? If someone didn't know you or listen to our other episodes, and the first thing that you say poignantly about yourself, using the example of turning 18, is that you went bald. Something about your vanity. Anyways, yep, okay.
No, but I feel like
I know
it's
that.
one of those like philosophies about myself that I'm just like, I'm gonna make it a canon, right? Like, I'm gonna go bald at 21, and maybe even earlier than. Like, I know I'm gonna cut my hair like within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I've already decided you can't change my mind.
Yeah, you look great.
I'm gonna cut my hair.
I've told you time and time again my opinion on you being bald.
No, but here's the thing about it's not. It's like
it's a mindset.
It's temporary. Maybe I won't be as bald as I was last time, but it'll just be like lower.
Why didn't you try having? I know, your circumstances wouldn't allow this, but like you could have braids, cornrows, or something. You know, like that's something too. But sure. Be bold. No, I understand the all or nothing. If anyone were to understand all or nothing, it's me. So
exactly, it's you. Right?
Yeah,
this is
So unfortunately, I get it, but I can't sit by and not say these things.
No, I appreciate your concern, but I feel like it just has to be done.
No, it's my grief already.
It has to be done. Maybe I'll regret it. The thing is,
you regretted it last time.
The whole point of doing it, right, is that like I will regret it in the end.
Yeah,
but I'll want to make up for it in some way, and that's gonna drive me to like do other things.
Yeah.
Like when I was bald at 18, I literally had nothing else to do with my life but go to the gym every day and like lock in on this and lock in on that because nobody would hang out.
Make up for the appearance deficit.
Exactly. So I think I have to do it.
You know, I'll advocate for this time and time and again, but there are certain things that I know to myself. It doesn't matter. I try to like convey this to other people, but it just confuses them. But there are certain things that no matter what I say, I know what the truth will be, and I know what the truth is. For instance, I think one of them for me is having kids. I think as much as I talk about like, logically how I don't necessarily agree with it, how, I'm mad at how I was raised, etc., and how I don't necessarily believe that everyone will need to go through this. Deep down, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with kids. I think it's such a like innate human experience, and I think it's really, really important to me. So when part of that, the more silly ones are like the things of saying like living a boring life. I think there's no ways I could let this life go by without at least trying to achieve my full potential, because I've done it once or twice before, and I did it for this most recent exam I had, and it was exhilarating. It was as exhilarating, if not more, than everything I imagined it to be. Right. So I understand what this is for you, and honestly, I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. This is an exciting period because finally some switch up in Caleb's life.
Yeah. I don't know yet exactly what that would look like. That's like what I'm gonna try and like figure out by the end of January to have like a plan for it. But horizon goal, that is what it is. That is my 2026 horizon goal. What's yours?
Oh, honestly, I like the trajectory I've set up from again 4 months ago, and it's been a bit rocky, and I know where my shortcomings were, and I know where I fall down, and I'm just looking forward to continuing on it and fixing sort of what messed up before. Like this break now has been the perfect mini break reset to get things right, because I have that a lot, you know, like my relationship with discipline, right? And then it's like, oh, don't fall, if you fall down once, don't fall down twice, etc., etc. But yeah, I kind of want
grown
to.
in that way this year.
Oh,
Because we always talk about this, like,
Yeah.
idea of, like, discipline routine and the thing of, like, starting something and stopping it. But once you start it, like, you will inevitably pick up some things or learn some things about, like, how that will help you apply to you whenever it comes back around.
do you know? Maybe it's this whole, and I know I'm speaking too early for this, but like the prefrontal cortex developing. I imagine this is what a tiny bit of that feels like, because things are like making sense in a way that it's innate. It feels like it's actually settled in, and when I see it or experience it, it just clicks. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's shown up in every part of my life. Certain conversations I have with people, certain moments where I'm living through what I know will be one of my fondest memories later on, and I just appreciate it so much in that moment, you know. And also in my studies, it's like when it just clicked, like, wow, I'm enjoying what I'm studying. As long as I keep the perspective of like, why am I enjoying this? Why do I do this? It like it all just clicks, and it's insane. And it's made me, don't get me wrong, it's made me more naive and ignorant than I think I've ever possibly been my entire life, and more I don't know, like assured that I'm aware of how ignorant I'm being, kind of. But I don't know, maybe last year and all the years before have been good stepping stones for this one that's coming now. By the way, it's such a small side note, but like my recording, I can see it's picking up the sounds of the fireworks.
Oh.
So they're not gunshots, they're fireworks. Anyways, you're gonna say?
No, I think it's good, like, this idea of stepping stones. I think when I listened back to the other, last year's one, we also talked about how, like, stepping stones were, like, / reaping the rewards of, like, the previous year. And, like, for me, like a big example of that being evident was, in that podcast, we were talking about how, like, wake up, like, the way you wake up is so important. Like, waking up as a jolt, like, literally, like, sets up your entire day rather than waking up slowly. Or, like, I think you mentioned how, like, you at the time you're trying not to, like, look at your phone, like, first thing when you wake up. And stuff like that. And in listening to that, I realized that I had, like, literally, like, obviously I stopped doing that at some point.
Yeah.
And, like, but that habit had stayed with me to the point where when I got here, I kid you not, for, like, 6 or 7...
Stop! No!
Okay.
Okay, it's okay. I'll let that.
No. I need to say something now.
Yeah.
Because I was calling my sister, and you know what she said?
What?
She literally said, my last 6/7 of 2025. This is what 12-year-olds are doing.
Do you know what? I was exactly the same at 12 years old. Probably even later. So.
Yeah.
But it's actually something so human and so special to see.
Yeah.
Like people at that age going through being that age. The friend I'm staying with, their family just left. Another 12-year-old, huh?
I was talking about dabbing and bottle flips.
Yeah.
That was probably our thing.
Oh god, and so much worse. Probably like loom bands.
No, it was bad.
Blackberry phone? I don't know, I can't remember. Anyways, go on.
But for the, like, 6 or 7 weeks out of the entire term, I was waking up at 7 a.m. And, like, getting my gym stuff done by 9, either to go to class or, like, to be in the library. And it was just, like, a thing of, like, controlling the things that I know that are in my control.
Yeah.
Because I moved to a new place, and there were so many uncontrollables in a new environment, right? Like,
yeah.
And I felt like the only thing that I could control, and this was all in reflection, right? I just did it innately while doing it, but it was only after the fact, on this train ride back, that I and listening to the podcast, that I had this reflection of, like, this is why I was doing it, right? To, like, have control over, like, the amount of hours I have in my day to, like, tackle all the uncertainties that will come with, like, moving to a new place geographically and being in this new environment and starting a master's and all these other things. I just had that thing trained from all these years since, I would say, since 2023, really, till now, to know innately when to apply it and have it benefit me, right? Like, I feel like I was really productive this time. I was like self-pat on the back. Like, I did not drown.
Nice.
Um,
Hey, that's
where,
really, really, really big.
but yeah, stuff like that. I feel like I am continuing to see the benefit of like having some sort of a plan and like doing things to further develop myself, as we've been talking about for the entirety of our friendship, which is also motivational to want to keep on that path. It's just now about knowing what is the right step, right? And something might not always be the right step, but you always know that you're gonna learn something that will come in handy to you at some point that you might not know as you're learning it. And I thought that was like pretty cool and made me excited for like, what should I do next, you know? Like, I'm sure like from the summer or like your bike trips or like from the fasting thing, like you must have like learned something.
Of course.
About yourself. And I think that's really cool that we're able to do this and document it.
Yeah.
On Spotify.
I think we even spoke about this earlier. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, I remember we talked about this, I think, in our first year. Or at some point, you know, the idea of the more things we learn, it's just a better safeguard for when we fall. That, you know, and you trust yourself a little bit that, like, when you fall, you won't fall as hard as you did necessarily the first time. Because you learned a little bit, and yeah. You were going to say?
No, literally that. No, I was going to do, like, a transition from speaking of Spotify to the goals that I set for the year. No, not for this year, for, like, 2025. I'm just now looking at them in retrospect. And I was talking about Spotify because on one of them was, like, about growing the podcast. I didn't actively play a role in it, but we were, like, in the 76th percentile on our Wrapped for, like, hours listened or, like, share or something. We got a Spotify award that we were, like, basically in the upper quartile. Is that what it is?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, upper quartile of shows, which, I mean, it was nice to tick off, but I definitely did not play a leading role in doing that. But yeah, this is just a suggestion to
I think it was you, because I think our most listened episode, or the one with most engagement, was the one for your birthday.
But I don't even talk to people about it. This is something that happened. It happened like after our it happened during class or like after class or something here. Or, like people started talking to me on my podcast. Like it's not like stop perceiving me. It's not a. I mean, it's nice, and don't get me wrong. I'm so like grateful for people that actually like paid attention to it. But it's a sticker on my computer, and I keep forgetting that it's a sticker on my computer. But like people have mentioned it, and I've been like, oh, that's weird, and I don't think it'll ever get weird. But it's also pretty cool that we have something.
It is.
But yeah, that was one of my goals that I ticked off. What about you? Ooh. Do you have like a list?
I have absolutely no idea. Probably, but I mean, it really feels like it's somewhat the same every year.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
Or like variations of developments of some.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, I'm pretty happy with where I've ended up. I think in any way you look at it, it like objectively is better than how it was last year. Mm-hmm. Also because so many significant things happened. Like ending the batches was big. You moving away was big, and starting the masters. You know, huge change. Huge.
Do you have any lowlights?
Lowlights? Oh, yeah, I fell many times this year. And hard and bad. In silly, simple, mundane things. Again, because of, like, the blank slate, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm very aware of it. Do you know what's sort of stupid?
What?
The things that held true before still hold true now, in terms of what's good to do. You know, I feel bad when I've eaten bad food. I feel good when I've eaten good food for a long while. I feel stronger and less fragile, vulnerable when I've worked on my strength at the gym for a continued and consistent period of time. And it takes better care of my health. And, going for a walk stimulates my blood flow and makes me study better instead of taking a nap or scroll on my phone. Putting my phone away gives me less anxiety than if it were just on that I didn't realize before. Like these things, they held true before and they consistently prove to hold true every day, And I think I really need to just trust the things I know more.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Okay.
You?
Lowlights. I mean, there was this one, I think that over the summer, there was like a good 2-week period where I was like inside all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I do this all the time, but this one was bad because like I could feel the lack of vitamin D doing things to my body. And I had to actively go outside to like do things.
Yeah.
That was one of them. A smaller one was remember like how I was so obsessed with like making this documentary or like film thing like for my Instagram or like just generally.
Yep.
Didn't do that, but I figured it's just like a seasonal thing. It's like with my winter break project.
Yeah.
Like it just happens around this time of the year because I was thinking about doing it again. I was like, wait, I've heard this story before. So that was low light of not finishing
At
that.
least you have a recollection of when you've heard it before. Mm-hmm. The rest of us sometimes are not so lucky. Mm-hmm. And then you listen to an old pod episode and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I've been through this word for word. Oh, you idiot.
Yeah, that's why I write things down. I think it helps me like remember it a lot.
Yeah, but I keep having to remind myself to keep writing. And every time I write, I'm like, wow, writing is good. Writing feels good. It does good. And then
I mean, that's what we're talking about with things, right? Just trusting what you know.
Like, I'm at a point where I need to write it on. I would write it on Post-it notes and stick it as, blatantly as I can in my room, except my eyes will do that thing where you get used to seeing it and then you stop seeing it. So what do I do then?
Whiteboard. Use the whiteboard because you're wiping it and
like,
adding more stuff to it. Like,
but it feels like I need to keep writing it every single day, and chant it in the morning like a mantra or something.
As much as it takes.
Yeah.
And I think a pretty big one was like, moving. It was a highlight, but also a low light, just because of like the whole thing of that situation. It was. It was a lot more emotional than I had anticipated, and it hit me like a truck kind of. But yeah, those were like a couple of lowlights from the year. But I'm glad that it was a lot more few and far between than I would have anticipated. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing in the sense that like maybe I was too comfortable, but I will interpret that as a good thing.
I just have so much trust that we get how much we can handle, plus a little bit more, but still within that, Just so much. And it's not something it's really not something I like saying out loud because people misinterpret it, I misinterpret it, but the whole of like, I believe in the universe and all of that. It feels more and more innate now, again, more than ever.
I think it's a sentiment that is like shared across a lot of religions also, right? That whatever creator that you subscribe to wouldn't give you more than you you wouldn't give you more than you can chew, or it wouldn't let you bite off more than you can chew, or whatever. I think it's like it's a very like grounding way to like center yourself whenever like you feel like you're like losing grip, and it's like definitely been said in a lot of different ways across history, across time. And I think it just works in the human mind for some reason. Like there are just a lot of things that just work for human beings.
Yeah.
And
just believe in it. Just trust it. You know how much time you would save if you just took the advice everyone else said and know that like history repeats itself and certain things are just such human shared experiences that if you would save so much time. I joked to like one of my lecturers that I was speaking to, that I was like, do you know what, if I just listen to you guys like from the beginning, honestly, just so much time, effort, everything, pain and suffering, that's the main thing. Maybe I'll try to do that more in the new year.
we talked about this also on the 2024
Okay,
thing.
of course.
Yeah, it's just like
Sabrina,
so
you
many
idiot.
lines before as like you should like make use of that of writing that has been done before you and documenting struggles and how they were dealt with.
Yeah.
It just works.
Just write and read and just learn. Like these three things. Ugh. And nature.
Predictions?
Always reconnect with nature.
Yeah.
It's so important. Yeah?
You want to do predictions and then we
Ooh.
can. And I've been seeing. It's weird 'cause-
yeah.
So like, let me explain why I'm saying this now.
Okay.
We've never done this before, but when I was in London with my grandma, I needed a reason to be on my phone, and my phone is so barren. I didn't want to scroll LinkedIn on the holidays, so I got Twitter back. That was the only social media I had on my phone, and so I was like exposed to so much like stuff, and a lot of them are like revisiting predictions from previous years, and a lot of like people like wrapping up their year. But a lot of it's like prediction of previous years. It's like, oh, we should do like a bingo card. Well, not a bingo card because it's an audio thing, but we can do predictions for 2026.
Oh yeah, people did that last year. I remember.
Did we?
No, not us, but like social media. I remember they predicted like marriages and things.
People do that all the time.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, do you have a prediction for next year?
Do you know? Can I just say like, so you and I have both been off social media for a while now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's been quite pleasant, except one thing that keeps coming up for me is that everything I'm going through and every discovery I have, because of this whole shared human experience thing, when I tell someone else about it, they already know because they've seen it on TikTok. And they tell me, and I'm like, it definitely is not a benefit of social media that would outweigh all the cons, all the detrimental cons. But it's like uncanny how many times it comes up.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh my god, I just figured something out. Like, whoa, ABC, and they were like, oh yeah, did you watch that TikTok with the guy? And I'm like, what? You know, like demoralizing that conversation is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there was a catchy song with it. Okay, well, I mean, it's the same time that like, oh, I'm glad I did come to this revelation and oh, I'm kind of proud of myself. But man, it was a lot of work and pain and suffering, and then you kind of feel dumb at the end of it. But it's like, again, bigger picture, fine and not worth going back on social media. But small picture in that moment, man,
yeah. I think it's one of the few times where social media can be good, right? Where
exactly.
You can see someone having your experience and like learn from them.
Yeah, and you see them like, oh, unlearning things, self-care, self-love, and I'm speaking extremely broadly because there have been really good like what are these like little micro trends that have come up, like this whole lock-in culture that's sort of come up.
God.
It's okay. I mean, now it's definitely dipped into the bad side, but like for the people around me, I've seen them start like studying more and do all of that things and study together. I've seen it bring people together, you know.
But I think that's with everything, right? Like
yeah, of course.
Of
course. Let me look at life in my rose-colored lens.
It's just like it just sucks that everything is a microtrend and so it will corrupt, it will wither and die.
I mean, it corrupts us, and we're not even like getting it from the horse's mouth.
Right?
So
yeah. And then it's just a trend. It's like, if you're logging in because it's a trend, I mean, obviously it's better than doing nothing, but it's still so bad. I feel like you're just taking the fun out of like a lot of things in life. Like you discovering like and learning a lesson. I feel like, yes, it's great that you would have like gotten it and been validated through the Stickler account, but there was still that life that happened for you to get there. I think like we're just a lot of social media and the AI word, AI also like just like tries to like displace that from us. We're like the fact that ChatGPT, this is like also going off on a tangent, but the fact that ChatGPT's main use case by people is like for therapy stuff. Yeah. It's just, I mean, like if you need a therapist, talk to a therapist, but I feel like it's just taking away so much of the lived experience from.
It really is.
From us. And this is not even about like thinking or so. It's just literally just living like a human being. It's just being taken away from us because you can get the answer from someone who's like literally grifting to get money from a social media account or from an AI that doesn't even understand the words that it's saying. But anyways, that is besides the point.
It's one of my biggest fears in life. And, you know, I thought before, I'm realizing this now, before my biggest fear was to, like, live to see World War III, and I kind of wanted to die before that because I'm not good at dealing with pain and suffering. I'm sorry, human population, I'm weak. But I don't want to live to see the actual detrimental effects of AI. The one that when it actually crashes and burns, at least the first time it does that, I suppose.
I'll send you
petrifying to me.
A short story by like this sci-fi writer that I thought was so good in its description or like narration of what AI can be. I'll send it to you. Yeah. I would narrate it now. I just don't trust myself right now to like give it.
Do it justice.
So I'll just send it to you, and then if we talk about it later on the pod, we do it. If we don't,
yeah, let's.
But yeah, okay, predictions.
But okay, I mean that's not a good segue into the predictions thing because now I'm just sort of thinking of all the bad things that I could say and predict, and I don't know how much good.
No, one good prediction, one bad prediction.
Do you know how badly I want us to be in a different position the next time we do this? And I have faith, but it takes a lot of faith. I feel like this is going to be a significant year, so what would be a good... Okay, a bad prediction. Bad prediction is easier.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, where maybe it's a defense mechanism of the human population. Something bad's gonna happen with AI. Maybe the skill degradation or like the job displacement or like the human displacement, I suppose, is really, really, really gonna... Like its effects in the younger generation, maybe it will actually... I don't know. Something happen.
Like, you think there's gonna be a ban? Like, you know how like Australia just did
I was thinking the
ban?
same thing. And then people have loopholes and...
Yeah, but even then, like... Funny, you know, that was actually a good prediction on your part from the 2024 one. Because, I mean, you mentioned that Australia were talking about the ban. I don't think you mentioned that they did the ban, because they just did the ban. But that was, like, funny that hey, you mentioned it before and it...
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I have no recollection of that. I think my memory is getting worse.
No, I mean, I wouldn't have remembered it unless I listened to it, like...
No, I know, but, like, more and more things now, when I hear people tell me that I said something, like, word for word, I'm like... Whoa, I said that sounded kind of good. Like, what? I would love to have remembered saying it, you know? But, like, what does it mean that I don't remember? Like, if I say it again, would it be worse? Like, what does this mean? Oh, God. Nah, you start, and you have a prediction. I always piggyback with you.
What is my prediction? My good prediction?
For yourself or for the world?
I was thinking world, like, cause self would just be like, you would just do it.
Yeah, it's just your goal. It's just your goal for the day. Yeah, let's not. Okay.
I think I'm gonna be my...
Shut up. I think you're gonna turn 20.
Crazy prediction. No. I have a good prediction. I think a lot... This whole sports... Actually, I don't think that's going to happen. I was thinking about sports betting, like, you know how, like, these prediction markets?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, like, okay, they might get banned, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's too much money in that.
I think the issue with this prediction thing is that I don't have a hill that I'm dying on. I haven't had...
I don't think I do either. I don't think I do either. I think... Okay.
And I don't keep up with... I don't have any niche topic interests where I could be like, oh, I think food science is really going to take off with the protein replacement. You know, like...
Ooh, I saw something about, like, nuclear energy being, like, looked into again and how that might be, like, a big thing next year with all the data centers and the need for energy and the fact that, like, the stocks...
I have a prediction.
Going up.
But it's because it's already happening.
Oh, yeah. So I guess it's not a real prediction. Prediction, I think...
Well, it's one I know nothing about.
It's gonna happen with the U.S. where the president might have to be impeached for the third time.
Okay, boring. I think...
Okay, no, I want something fun. Like,
I think...
I feel like the new Avengers movie is gonna suck. That's my
The what?
prediction. The new Avengers movie, Doomsday.
Okay, I literally am
it's
not
gonna
thinking.
be so
Nothing
bad.
you said has struck a chord with me at all. I think a lot of people, as they have been, are going to like return to the old ways of doing things, like the traditional way of doing things, because
I seriously doubt that. I think it's gonna be like a
What?
trend for like a good month and a half, and then it's gonna die.
do you know I
Like
was
how,
speaking
like,
to
the
our
dumb
lecturer the
phone
other
was
day
a
about
thing?
like, oh, what are they gonna do about the new AI proofing, the LLM proofing for like university students? And then he suggested like, oh, I think we should test students, well, like make them write an essay or something on a internetless computer in like the basement of the building. And I was like, why not just give everyone like a pen and paper? And he was like, oh, no one knows how to write anymore. And I'm like, yeah, that's pathetic. We're at the prime of our life. Like if you can't endure an hour of writing a page, then you have serious health issues,
I will say, when I had an exam written, I needed cramps in my hand.
Oh, I had that in high school and I had a 3-hour English exam to a point where I switched my left hand because I was not getting the questions right anyways. Might as well. And then he was like, because I think and I thought it was such a great idea. And I was like, oh my God, I actually had something similar in grade 8 that was completely unrelated, but it was just a fun thought experiment, I guess, where you had to write an essay that you could prepare beforehand, but you just weren't allowed to bring the actual sheet in. So what you could do is like do bullet points or something, but also you could write a full essay, memorize it, and go to class. Yeah. And I was like, what a great idea, because even in that you learn something, And even if it's like, oh, it's plagiarized, blah 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 blah, you're still nonetheless learning something. And I was like, I think that's a great idea. And he was insistent on like the computer thing. And I was like, no, they can write, don't baby 21-year-olds, again, prime of their life. But yeah, I think more and more stuff, people are going to turn to the traditional way. I've also been following this, like, not following, but this content creator keeps popping up on my YouTube shorts where, I don't know where his name is Bob. I don't know where he lives or something, but he does everything like cooking wise from scratch.
That's
And
interesting.
it's like I feel what I feel to some extent, like when I'm watching nature documentaries, that it's just such a natural part of life to witness and experience that it resonates with me in a deep part of myself that not many things reach. So yeah, that's what I believe. I can't believe you don't agree with me. Like I think also in my master's class alone, I can see like most people take notes on pen and paper.
Yeah, but your master's is like.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, thanks. Always care to bring me back down to earth and crush on my balloon.
But the thing is, I think like I would want to believe that, but I really do believe like this will just be like a short trend, like how people were like, oh, like the dumb phone, like we should like go back to like default phones, blah, 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 blah. So much so that like some companies started making dumb versions of an iPhone and stuff.
It's like the company that made the notepad.
I'm pretty sure those companies are bankrupt now because it was a short-lived trend that nobody was actually.
Do you know what I hate? I hate that you're right. You're just always right, and you're like infallible. Just okay, come up with a prediction.
No, my prediction is a counter yours that this will be a micro trend.
Okay, no, okay, come up with your own one then.
I mean, okay, I think people will be a lot
You're
more.
You're literally betting against me, anyways. People will be a lot more.
This whole thing of sycophancy in AI, right?
Okay.
Like, there's this Eddie Burback video. That was the first time that I interacted with it. And then everyone, like, in my circle here started talking. Or, like, not in my circle, but, like, important people here started talking about it as well. So, I was like, man. Well, you know what's something that's also crazy? So, I still do listen to this podcast. And they talk about David Deutsch a lot. And he's, like, this quantum physicist that, like, tries to relate things. So, like, he's trying to, like, form a theory of everything, basically. Right? Mm-hmm. Guess what I just found out when I was looking for his book?
What?
He's a fucking professor here. I could just send him an email and that's like a pretty cool.
Are you serious?
That's a pretty cool.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh no!
I'm just crazy that an author that I.
What? Kid, that's the coolest thing ever.
To, like so like mythically, is literally just an email away. But anyways.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
My prediction is that. We're gonna see a lot more harm in terms of people being a lot more like believers to a fault because AI is so sycophantic.
Yeah. I
think
think
that's what's gonna happen.
that's so true, and it feels like there's this like parallel arms race that goes on where, because there's more things to distrust, people have to learn to trust themselves more, except people need experience in order to like trust themselves more, right? And they need to build that experience on something. So it's kind of like a race to the finish line on, whether you get there in time or you just get bombarded and lost in this world of sycophancy.
Also, I think that people are going to talk a lot more like AI.
Oh yeah.
Like all of this, it's not this, it's this. The thing is, that's not even an AI thing because the book I'm reading
not
right now was
only,
written in
but
2013.
also.
Exactly. This book I'm reading was written in 2013, but he uses so much of that language because it's just fucking regular English.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's so like proliferated with AI, every time I see it, I get triggered. Every time I hear someone even say it,
but
in real
objectively, it's good English too. I mean,
it is right. That's
yeah.
the problem. Like,
yeah.
like Yeah, but anyways,
and
I don't think 6-7 is gonna die. I think 6-7 is gonna live like until like at least August of 2026. 6-7 is forever.
It's gonna die like how all the other ones die, where you see now a half drinking plastic bottle of water and 50-50 you'll go up and remember to bottle flip it,
Ooh, and then I'm about to watch this new Stranger Things. I think this last episode is gonna be fucking cinema. That's my prediction for like the next hour.
I think we should end there. I think that's goal.
Let's end there.
Alright, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.